Hello, Michael. When did you first realize you want to paint?
Realized when I was probably 14 and 15 that I wanted to be a professional artist. I spent my whole life in coloring books because I was the only child and my mom gave me lots of those coloring books.
So she encouraged you?
She did, very much.
So after the coloring books, what did you do next?
The next thing I did was a lot of still life drawing. A lot of drawing of objects on tables and my first attempts at portraits of family members and things that were pretty awful, but the first ones.
How did you work your way up? How did you become a painter?
Yeah, well, I went to a special school in high school for art, and then I went to college for arts and had a 4-year degree in illustration. And then I started out in advertising agencies, sort of doing sketch work and animation kind of drawings, and then the more and more I got used to that, the more I did my own personal work and kind of tried to start my own company outside of working for other people at that point.
What does your work day look like?
My work day usually starts around noon, and that's about the time I'm done with breakfast and get the motivation to get up and work again. I usually come downstairs, check my email, do those normal business things to see what I missed the night before. Usually do some print production, nothing too mind-oriented until 3 or 4 o'clock when my mind starts working again. And then usually dive right into a new drawing, or it might be a full day of concepting, just new ideas for new paintings coming up, because not every idea is a really good idea.
The artist versus the businessman, how does that work for you?
Yeah, I don't tend to multitask very well, so I'll do all business for a while and then I do all painting for a while. And it's not always the best idea because business happens while you're painting, but I tend to just catch up on those things after I'm done. Need to concentrate on one thing at one time.
Tell us what's the difference when you're making something for yourself and just for the inspiration, and something that is commissioned.
Yeah, so I think for myself, I'm usually thinking of the broadest audience I can find, the largest demographic for an idea. The ideas, I always try to put a lot of content in my work, and sometimes that can narrow the field, so I'm always trying to back that idea out into people that can relate to more of those aspects of it. When I have a commissioned piece, it used to be that people were able to tell me exactly what they wanted and make changes a lot, and you waste a lot of time doing those things, and too many opinions create mud most times. So now I have a standard that they can tell me what size it is, and they can tell me the theme of the idea, and maybe how many characters or something are in it, and then from that's all they see. Sometimes I'll offer a drawing halfway through, but most times I create the painting.
You have to do that
yes.
in order to make something that's still yours.
Right, and it still has that creativity to it. It doesn't have something that's too generic, that isn't new to the world.
So who buys paintings in the US?
Well, there's always the art collectors that follow me around and follow other artists around, and that's part of what they enjoy in their lives. And then there are people who will just stumble across my work and have never thought about buying an original painting before in their lives, but they find some hole in their life that it will fill and kind of prosper in, and something that they may now be inspired to look for more of. It's always a neat case when you find out that it's for a child's room where he'll grow up with that his entire life, and that's something that he'll remember when he's in his 20s and 30s, that was something that was part of his childhood.
Maybe one day you will be somebody's role model. Who are yours?
My role models are anybody who finds passion in life, whether it be even purely financial or something that really gets them out of bed in the morning, or something that drives their being and that they can talk about and feel things about, and that follows everything: musicians, artists, business people, even a banker or two. Well, there's people in history that I love their work. Gustav Klimt is I'm a big fan of Art Nouveau, and even it's sort of become genres that I've become fans of, not just specific artists. So I like new ideas, and I like this sort of new lowbrow movement in LA. I think that's really where it began. The graffiti movement has really responded well to new ideas and new sort of global statements, and finding those things that everyone relates to
And where do you look for inspiration?
I usually find it sort of the way that you find music. You find one person you like, and then they have a show, and then you find 30 more people you like, and then off those 30 people, it just this collection begins of people that you've seen their work and know what they do. And I think that's a lot about the visual arts. It's like I might recognize someone's artwork, but I'll never know who they are. Like I have that visual memory of all of those things that I've seen before that caught my attention.
You do many different styles. Which is your favorite right now, and why?
Yeah, right now it's probably the sort of funky children's comic booky Japanimation style that I do, and I like that because it relates not only to the children in that it's animation and simplified, but it relates to the ideas of adults and those heavier concepts. So there's just something fun about being clever and thinking backwards and trying to figure out a new way to say something with a very simple, iconic form. I definitely go through phases where I'll work on something that's a little more serious for a while, and it might be all about beauty, or it might be all about something that isn't something that would make you giggle. And lately I've just been into the more whimsical things that are sort of clever backwards thinking.
Okay, thank you very much.